Well, hello everyone. This is PorterX27, and joining me again is Chief Ramhill, and also joining us is Turbo, the owner of the Buccaneers. Turbo,
Hey
say
everybody,
hi.
how are y'all
How's it going,
doing?
guys? Chief here.
So,
Let's start it off
go ahead,
with
bud.
some questions here. My first question, starting it off right away with the hard hitters. Turbo, do you feel your record depicts the overall of your team?
Eh, kind of, sort of. I feel like one of my brightest positions was the person I got in my draft last year as my first round draft pick, and Smolters, which is my strong safety, he's actually won me quite a few football games and has been one of the brightest spots on my team. So yes, I feel very comfortable with just him, and he's basically the life of my team right now.
But the only thing is that he can only play one position, and that's back there on defense. You also got Baker Mayfield at quarterback. You started him. He's currently second as one of the worst quarterback overall ratings at like 77% or 77.1 or whatnot, only behind Hunley for the Chicago Jaguars. Now, or Cougars, I'm sorry, Chicago Cougars. And so, like, what's his future hold? You got a veteran quarterback, and you got a rookie. Like, what's going to go on with Baker Mayfield now?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield will, and I will repeat this, will sit for the rest of the season. The veteran Alex Smith will be my starter for the rest of the season because really with how Baker Mayfield is right now, he is not ready fully. I kind of rushed him to see if he's going to be good in that starting role, but now I kind of regretted it because I kind of rushed him into the football game, which I really shouldn't have because my team was riding high with Alex Smith, but then I brought a complete new rookie QB, and honestly, I should have just kept him on the bench, kept him with that superstar trait development, and just worked on him before I actually brought him into the game.
Does that mean we're going to see possibly another quarterback drafted from the Buccaneers?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, you can never go wrong with more QBs, as you see. But the only problem with that is I don't have a first round draft pick this year, which means I'm gonna have to talk to people for that first round draft pick, and there's going to be a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of eye candies that are going to be on the trading block.
Well,
So beware, people.
unfortunately, you talk about eye candy in the Bucks, and those two words kind of really don't mix with one another. Just on the simple fact because you have, just because it is the Bucks. I mean, you're living up to the old '90s. You guys are the Yucks right now, and then not only that, you look at the draft. There's not a lot of solid quarterbacks. I mean, everyone's kind of said that this year's draft class is pretty weak in that regard.
And with
Yeah,
that, how do you feel about, I mean, 'cause I know you said you want to draft a quarterback, but three quarterbacks on the team, one of them is going to have to take less snaps. Who's it going to be? Is Alex Smith going to find a new home? Is Baker Mayfield going to stay? What?
well, unfortunately, Alex Smith, with his veteran presence, is on his is the final year of his contract, and he is going to be let go into the free agency to try to find somebody else that I can actually use with consistency. Because that's kind of his biggest malfunction is both of my QBs are not consistent. They'll have one really good week, and then the next week they'll come out and throw 4 or 5 picks.
Along with the eye candy, two good running backs, Doug Martin and Joe Mixon in the backfield. Is it going to be a backfield by committee thing, or is one of them going to be on the block here shortly?
Well, I'm going to be truly honest with you. I plan on keeping both of my backs just because they're the life of my team right now. And with how bad the playing of my offensive line, I can't pass the ball. As you can see, my team is, shoot, I can't even recall how many sacks I've given up this year. And that's just because people are
46.
taking
46.
That's
Jesus Christ.
Now, and actually one of those is 13 by your right tackle. 13. That puts him in the top 3 in the entire league. And those are, typically the other 2 is with Carolina, and that's because usually, the right tackle runs out, or the quarterback will run out on that option and get tackled in the backfield. That's not his fault. I don't foresee you taking Baker Mayfield and trying to scramble, but then I could be wrong because I see that he has 20 rushing attempts, about 200 yards, and then 5 fumbles. At one point, do you go in your head like, this is a bad idea? I immediately regret taking Baker Mayfield out of the pocket.
Well, we'll go ahead and start. He's a 6'1", 210, and I kind of tried to take advantage of that with his, I think, 77 speed, but sometimes I make horrible decisions, as you could tell, and I don't get down like usual QBs, so he just gets fucked.
You're Steve Young in it. Pretty soon Baker Mayfield's going to be on SportsCenter, and they're going to ask him a question, and he's just going to stare off into the middle of space like, Steve, come back to us, Steve.
I think for as many times as he's been hit, he might be drooling at this point. I don't think the helmet's much help.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's now going to have to wear a different kind of helmet. Ride the team bus everywhere. It's a lot shorter than the rest of the buses.
And like Gage said, he is on his back more than Mia Khalifa is. That's very shown.
It's hard to watch for fans of the Bucks organization, and the fans are wondering, is there any hope for the Bucks moving forward?
Well,
I mean, what's your plan with this year? What's the goal?
Well, the goal is to win as many games as possible, but I am going to be moving. I'm going to move to Los Angeles, and I'm going to be I can't think of their name right now. It's not on the top of my head.
Sounds like a compelling decision.
Yeah, sounds like the fans are going to love that one.
They're going to love that. They'll welcome you with the Los Angeles Chargers, the Los Angeles Rams, the Los Angeles whoever's.
The Los Angeles Thumb Snappers.
The Los Angeles Jazz Hands over here. So all right.
It's going to be the Los Angeles Aftershocks.
When we start talking about the Buccaneers winning, how many seasons before that happens? Before that's a real statement?
Well, honestly, I'm hoping this free agency class is a little bit deeper than last year, because last year it was really deep. And I wish I would have went after some of those. Instead of trying to go after all the big names, I went after them offensive linemen, because, like I said, my offensive line is just
abysmal,
tremendously
vacant.
Jellyfish. I don't even think you could use that to describe them, honestly.
Yeah. Like an absolute
there was a big name in the free agency poll at QB in Kirk Cousins. Do you think that would have helped shape the season in a different way? Or,
I mean, especially with how he's doing in San Francisco right now.
It would definitely help me a lot, and he will be pushed by the Los Angeles Aftershocks really steadily hard to try to get him to bring that veteran presence to the team, because since we're bombing this season, I have a very good cap to try to sign as many players as I possibly can.
Right on. Well, let me ask you the kind of final question. All right, now that you know your team's out, I want you to give me 2 players, or 2 users, 2 other owners that you know of. One that you absolutely love watching, you kind of hope for their success, you enjoy seeing them on the field, and just kind of surprised by. And then the other one, well, you just hope they stub their toe on a coffee table somewhere.
Alright, one team Actually, there's two teams in particular that actually surprised me with the way they rebuild their teams, which is San Francisco and Cleveland. When you look at that roster before your actual season starts, them rosters really aren't the best you can make. But I gotta give all credits to both users because they have really made them teams into unbeatable teams. And I think everybody knows who I'm going after because he came after my team, so it's only right for me to come back at him. It's them dang Bengals. I hope them Bengals don't win another game this year. And he kind of made it into a rivalry now. I think them aftershocks are really gonna try to come after that QB and see how many players they can injure.
Well, and it's a strange thing to go, like, it's one thing to go a rivalry within your own conference, especially within your own division. But it honestly makes no sense to me to go for a rivalry completely opposite of everything that you're in. Like, if you're the AFC North, why are you going to sit there and throw shade at someone in the NFC South? It's like literally the polar opposite. It's like, well, you know what? I'll see you in 6 years. You know what? No one on this team is going to be the same player in 6 years. Like, it's a kind of empty rivalry right there. Gage, do you got anything else to add?
Yeah, I just got one final question here. Coming off a win, the fans are happy this week. Are they going to have anything to celebrate throughout the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, we do have a big game. A big game in playing the Falcons. And hopefully, if I can actually win out, I actually may put myself into that playoff contention. So, and just to add on, I really feel for Carolina and the Saints owners, and I hope and pray that they do come back in the league because it was very fun playing y'all. And I'm not gonna lie, Carolina's team is very stacked and very hard to beat.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Turbo, thanks for coming on, and good luck with the rest of the season.
I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all.
And we'll get
Nice
this
having you.
posted here soon. Everyone, for MFers, we'll catch you next time.